Welcome back to the 21 Boom Guided Meditation Series. I'll be your guide. I'm Coach Zach Feeney. Um, Today, the all-encompassing kind of question. There's going to be some. I'm going to have some dialogue, kind of go through some thought experiments a little bit before we actually dive into the main meditation, which will pretty much cap this whole session off. Um, and it's the question to start it is trapped in the past or living in the present. First way of going through this first round of thought exercises: mental pain, the thoughts that just keep going around and around. So rumination or anything like that, recurring thoughts. Any of these thoughts, think about, and yes or no, if you think about any of these thoughts on a regular basis, like if you notice any of the recurring themes in any of these next few points here, just mentally note them, or you can even write them down if you want to remember them for later. Some common things in self-talk: there is nothing I can do. I am falling apart. I have no future. I am completely defeated. I have lost something I'll never find again. I'm not my old self anymore. I am worthless. I am a burden to others. Something in my life has been damaged forever. I can't find meaning in my life. I'm completely hopeless. The pain will never go away. Memories of real events. So listen to the following words and think of a real life event that's happened to you. And that comes into your mind when you hear each of these words. And keep it in mind or write them down again what happened. It doesn't matter whether the real event happened a long time ago or only recently, but it should be something that lasted for less than one day. For example, if fun was one of the words, it would be okay to say, I had fun when I went to Jane's party. But it would not be okay to say, I always have fun at parties, because that doesn't mention a particular event. So do your best to think or write something down for each word here. And in case, remember to come up with something that lasted for less than only one day. Think of a time when you felt happy, bored, relieved, hopeless, excited, failure, lonely, sad, lucky, relaxed. So any of those words, pick one, and you can save this for later if you'd like, if nothing comes to mind right away. The dance of ideas. So imagine you're in a crowded bar and say you see a friend talking to one of your work colleagues or somebody. You smile and wave at them, and they're looking in your direction, but they don't seem to notice you. So what thoughts go through your mind, and how do you feel? You might think that such a scene is clear, but it's actually highly ambiguous. Show it to half a dozen people and you'll get a range of answers that depend more on the state of mind of the person being asked than on any concrete reality. If something has recently happened to make you happy, you will probably assume that your friends didn't see you waving at them. The scene will soon be forgotten, but if you are unhappy or distressed for some reason, any reason, the dance of ideas will be choreographed differently and the scene will take on an entirely different meaning. You may conclude that your friends are trying to avoid you, or that maybe you had lost more friends. You might think, they're avoiding me, here we go again. Maybe he never liked me and spent ages trying to lose me. Why is friendship so transient? The world is becoming increasingly shallow. And such self-talk can quickly turn a period of fragile sadness into a longer and deeper bout of unhappiness that leaves you questioning many of your most cherished beliefs. And why? Our minds are always desperately trying to make sense of the world. And they do this in the context of baggage accumulated over many years together with the mood of the moment. They're constantly gathering up scraps of information and trying to fit them together in a meaningful picture. They do this by constantly referring back to the past and seeing if the present is beginning to pan out in the same way. They then extrapolate these models into the future and see once again if a new pattern or theme emerges. Juggling such patterns is one of the defining characteristics of being human. It's how we impose meaning on the world. And when the dance freezes, this dance of ideas is amazing to behold until it starts to freeze. Overgeneral memory tends to freeze the past as a byproduct of its tendency to summarize. The summary is then taken as true forever. So once you have interpreted your friend's behavior as rejection, you rarely go back to the actual details of the situation and consider other interpretations. And you might overgeneralize, especially if you're tired or preoccupied with your own problems. When the dance of the ideas freezes, all you remember later is yet another example of people rejecting you. Your world has its texture and color and becomes black or white, win or lose. So now, to come to treating yourself with kindness. How harsh and judgmental are you really towards yourself? Treating yourself with kindness and ceasing to judge yourself harshly are the cornerstones of finding peace in a frantic world. So, ask yourself the following questions. Do I criticize myself for having irrational or inappropriate emotions? Do I tell myself I shouldn't be feeling the way I'm feeling? Do I believe some of my thoughts are abnormal or bad and I shouldn't think that way? Do I make judgments about whether my thoughts are good or bad? Do I tell myself that I shouldn't be thinking the way I do? Do I think some of my emotions are bad or inappropriate and I shouldn't feel them? When I have distressing thoughts or images, do I judge myself as good or bad depending on what the thoughts or images are about? Do I disapprove of myself when I have irrational ideas? So if you endorsed strongly more than one or two of these questions, you may be being too hard on yourself. Could you begin treating yourself with more compassion? And the trick with these questions is to understand that you're being too harsh on yourself without seeing this fact as a criticism. See your responses as an aid to awareness rather than a sign of success or failure. And this all leading into the main meditation for this evening. So take a few moments now to become settled in a warm and comfortable place where you can be by yourself for a while, relaxed and alert. And find a posture that for you embodies a sense of dignity and wakefulness. If you're sitting, allow the spine to be strong, the shoulders relaxed, the chest open and the head balanced. And then close your eyes and focus on the breath. And then expand attention to the whole body for a few moments until you feel settled. When the mind wanders, acknowledge where it went, remembering that you have a choice now, either to escort it back to whatever you had intended to focus on, or instead, to allow your attention to drop into the body to explore where you are experiencing trouble or concern. Feel free to use any of the previous meditations that you've done with me, or any, in general, any guided meditations as part of your preparation for this one. When you're ready, allow some or all of these phrases to come to mind, changing the words if you choose, so that they connect to you and become, for you, your own gateway into a deep sense of friendliness toward yourself. May I be free from suffering. May I be as happy and healthy as it is possible for me to be. May I have ease of being. taking your time, imagine that each phrase is a pebble dropping down into a deep well. You're dropping each one in turn, then listening to any reaction in thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, or impulse to act. There's no need to judge what arises. This is for you. If you find it difficult to bring forth any sense of friendship toward yourself, bring to mind a person or even a pet who, either in the past or present, has loved you unconditionally. And once you have a clear sense of their love for you, see if you can return to offering this love to yourself. May I be free from suffering. May I be happy and healthy. May I have ease of being. And at a certain point, bring to mind a loved one and wish them well in the same way, using he, she, or they as you prefer. May he, she, they be free from suffering. May he, she, they be as happy and healthy as it is possible for them to be. May he, she, or they have ease of being. Once again, see what arises in mind and body as you hold the person in mind and hearts, wishing them well. Once again, allow responses to come. Take your time, pause between phrases, listening attentively, breathing. When you are ready to move on, choose a stranger. This may be someone you see regularly, perhaps on the street or on a bus or a train, someone you recognize, but may not know the name of this person, someone you feel neutral about. Recognize that, although you do not know them, they probably also have a life full of hopes and fears as you have. They too wish to be happy as you do. So, keeping them in hearts and mind, repeat the phrase and wish them well. Now, you might wish to bring to mind someone whom you find difficult, past or present. This does not have to be the most difficult person in your life, whomever you choose. Now intentionally allow them to be in your heart and mind, acknowledging that they too may wish or have wished to be happy and to be free from suffering. Repeat the phrases. May he or she be free from suffering. May he or she be happy and healthy. May he or she have ease of being. Pausing, listening, noticing sensations in the body, seeing if it is possible to explore these feelings without censoring them or judging yourself. Remember that if at any time you feel overwhelmed and drawn away by intense feelings or thoughts, you can come back to the breath and the body to anchor yourself back in the present moment, treating yourself with kindness. And finally, extend loving kindness to all beings, including your loved ones and strangers and those whom you find difficult. The intention here is to extend love and friendship to all living beings on the planet, and remembering that all living beings includes you. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be happy and healthy. May all of us have ease of being. At the end of this time of practice, take time to sit with the breath and the body, resting in clear awareness of the present moment. Whatever your experience of this practice, acknowledge your own courage in taking the time to nourish yourself in this way.